Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is Matt from the Matt Night Show, and I'm chilling with, of course, Ice.
Nice. What up, though? What up, everybody?
What's going on? So, usually we kind of just talk about the headlines, but today we're going to talk about a really important concept that we've been kind of floating around, I would say, since last year, haven't we? We talked
Yeah,
about this a
man.
lot,
Yeah.
and that is the new America. The new America. So, I know, I'll be honest, Ice, I think you're the one who kind of came up with this concept. So, kind of explain what we mean by new America.
Well, the new America is something that you see and you can feel higher prices, less freedom, less rights, more culture wars, and more this squeezing of the everyday American. Like no longer can you just go to an airline and just hop on a plane to go see, go to Disneyland or something like that. And it's actually really affordable. It's not affordable because guess what? When you get to the airport, you got TSA. Guess what? There's a funnel at TSA. You got to
Yeah.
check in. There's two different people. There's two different lines. There's a line for the people who pay the premium price, and then there's a line for the person that just don't pay that. And you got to stand in that long line, go through that body scanner, all that stuff, and then by the time you get to your port, then guess what? There's another line, and that line is multiple lines. You get the first person that's coming in, you get the priority seating, and then there's everybody else. And then once you get on the plane, then it's just nonstop. Think
Yeah.
about going to Disneyland, Disney World, things like that. There's a fast track, and then there's a line for everybody else. So basically, the new America is two lines. You got a line if you pay a premium price. There's a line for you, and for everybody else, you get the generic. And nobody wants to get the generic. And what used to be premium, Matt, is actually like generic now. So if you want premium, you got to pay luxury price for it. So the new America is a lot more harsh. If you don't have the money, then you can't play. You can't play in this new economy.
No, I completely agree. And I would also add to that, when you think about the new America, you kind of have to start thinking about the old America, right? So in the old America, you know, um, pretty much you worked hard, you went to school, you got these opportunities, maybe you went the trade route. There were some government programs and assistance or different infrastructure that you could utilize to succeed, right? And for the most part, government may not have been there to help you all the time, but it wasn't there to squash you. And I think in the new America, I think everything's completely flipped. Like I know, Ice, you talked about this too. Like in the old America, if the president got the Nobel Peace Prize, guess what? He actually earned it. But in the new America, what is the president doing with the Nobel Peace Prize, bro? What's going on with that in the new America?
Um, I don't know. I mean, let's take a look at it. We have. This is funny. This is really, really funny here when we look at this. We have, let's just read it. It says, funny how the black guy earning his Nobel Peace Prize, talking about President Barack Obama, while the white guy who got rid of DEI to focus on individual merit. Remember, Trump was always talking about you got to earn it. He had to take the prize from a Latino woman who actually did earn it. So we talk about black and brown people, a white guy and Donald Trump taking a Nobel Peace Prize from a brown Latina woman and who didn't earn it from a person who did earn it, which is President Barack Obama. So it's almost like the gaslighting. It's almost like we're going to rewrite the rules here and pretty much saying white billionaires can get away whatever they want to get away with.
Yeah, and I think in the old America, this would have been frowned upon and this would have been instantly criticized and it wouldn't have been allowed to happen. But in the new America, it does happen. And I think that's the thing that we really want to talk about and kind of discuss in this kind of more long form conversation is that the things that you're seeing, a lot of this stuff is here to stay. Now, Trump, in the Trump administration, it may not be as bad or as outrageous or as blatant as the Trump administration, but some of this stuff is here to stay. And I kind of want to go ahead, Ice, you had something to say?
No, it's just it's just sad. It's really sad because you do see that two-tiered system in America. You see the one tier where if you got the money and the resources, life in America gonna be good for you. You're gonna live good. You're gonna live in a better part of the neighborhood, send your kids to good schools. You go on 2.5 vacations. You can afford to have kids. You can afford to have the luxuries of life, the affordable luxuries. But for everybody else, You're going to have the below standard life and the below standard living, and you're going to be eating food at the Dollar Tree. I mean, essentially, they're gutting the middle class. And now is either you can make them, you either got the money to pay and live in a great America. Think about homes. A lot of y'all want to buy homes. Heck, I want to buy a home, right?
Yeah.
Now, what are home prices now? Look at the starter homes today, Matt. I mean, I saw a starter home. I was on Redfin the other day and Zillow and all those other sites. And I was just looking. I was like, okay, let me just take a look at my local area. Let me just see what the home price is sitting at. And I kid you not, starter home in San Diego was about $900,000. A starter home. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not saying, California is a little bit different, but the point, you get what I'm trying to say. The average starter home is like $500,000. Not on top of that, people got student loans. They have credit card debt. They trying to save for retirement. And boy, don't get me talking about retirement. But these are all the things in the new America that people just simply can't afford.
No, and I think you made a good point, man. You talked about the two different tracks. And I think when I think about the two different tracks in the new America, one of the things that especially voters are going to get sidetracked on, and the serious voters who are aligned are going to benefit from, is this whole thing between policy versus cultural wars, whatever the case may be. Now, obviously, policy, we know what policy is. Policies that impact people's lives, healthcare, policies around around housing, around education. But Ice, explain what culture wars are.
Man, it's a distraction. Culture wars is, you know what? I don't want no trans swimming with my daughter. I don't want no trans in the bathroom. I don't want none of that, right? I don't want none of that stuff. Hey, Christian, bro. I'm a Christian. No, I'm a Christian. You know what I'm saying? I don't want abortion. Abortion, no, that's the devil. That's the devil. The Democrats, those Democrats. That's what it is, bro. And it's unfortunate because we can never get to the meat of the real issues because people get caught up in these culture wars, whether it's the trans or the immigrants coming to take your job, or whether it's the Christian stuff. And don't get me started on the Christian stuff. I mean, golly, I love my Christians. I'm a Christian, but I don't like I love their Christ, but I do not love their Christianity, their brand of Christianity. So culture wars is nothing more than a huge distraction on American people that gives you to vote for a very sliver reason, right? A 1 or 2 issue reason. And you forget 99% of the other side effects that goes along with that particular candidate.
No, I think it could really be seen when Trump was asked about healthcare plans, right? Let's run that clip.
He understands.
Sir, you said during the campaign you had concepts of a plan. Do you have an actual plan at this point for healthcare?
Yes, we have concepts of a plan that would be better.
Still just concepts? Do you have a fully developed plan?
Let me explain.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
Get on the TV in front of millions. You talk about concepts of a plan. We about to say something, Ice?
No, I mean, Trump was just too busy. Like, Trump has been fighting his whole, like, half his presidency has been about this whole Epstein stuff. The Epstein Island. Yeah, so he been on this Epstein Island talk. And I think Trump has been super distracted. He ain't been thinking about the American people. Healthcare, I got better things to do. The guy made $3 or $4 billion in his first year just monetizing the presidency. I mean, the dude ain't thinking about healthcare. Actually, he just dropped something, Matt. And I don't know if you had a chance to look at this, but he's trying to figure out the name for the healthcare bill he wants to name. And he's pretty much saying it's like going to be cheaper prices and better healthcare. But it's the 2 weeks thing. 2 weeks. I mean, I'm going to drop it in 2 weeks. He keeps saying the 2 weeks. And that was like 5 years ago. So that's a little tiring. And I feel bad because concepts of a plan doesn't do anything for people who health insurance literally went up their premiums. I know my premiums went up significantly. Now I'm blessed enough to be able to cover that and absorb that cost. But if you somewhere in Ohio, Pennsylvania, you got a family of two, you're in the rural South somewhere, and $200 is an extra every month, that may be the difference between paying your rent, feeding your kids, or being able to take yourself to the doctor when you have a sickness.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I think this is kind of how you all bring it together. Like, if you saw Trump last year, he ran off grievances and culture wars. That's what he ran off of, right? And what's happening now, people voted for him because of culture wars, and they got policies that's whooping their ass. You voted for culture wars, now policy is whooping your ass. I mean, it's whooping my ass too. I'm not even gonna act like it's not, man, because there's a lot of these things that are happening to all Americans across the country, obviously, right? But what happens when you vote for culture wars and you're not talking about policy, that just gives the politicians a gateway to F you over. And that's what's happening. And you know who focused on policies, bro? The billionaires. They focused on policy, didn't they?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
They all about the policy, bro. And that's why, and we need to come together and do this to Trump.
You're fired. Get out of here.
That's what we need to do. We need to fire Trump because Trump has literally, this guy he's the most distracted president. And at the same time, to your point, Matt, I feel like people get it this time. Like Trump 1.0, you had some guardrails. You had people saying, you know what? You had some adults in the room, if you will, because the toddler was having temper tantrums, and people were able to avoid him from doing the things that he was going to do. And then this Trump 2.0, okay, like the Trump cartel, these guys are relentless. These guys are ruthless, and they learned something from Trump 1.0. It kind of reminds me of when you go, like, if you ever went to jail or somebody that went to jail before, and they wasn't that much of a criminal before they went. Mm-hmm. And then when they go to jail, they learn all the schemes. They learn all the little hook and crook and all little knickknacks and riffraffs. They learn that stuff. Then they come out and they even more. They breaking in your house like legit. They doing B&Es, and now we talking B&Es, bro. They doing all type of crypto frauds and stuff. And I feel like that's Trump 2.0. He learned like from Trump 1.0 how to screw over the American people and how to get what he wants.
No, you're right. And I think one way he's been trying to screw the American people over is really this affordability conversation, right? So recently he said affordability is a hoax. And we're going to say affordability is not a hoax. And I know, Ice, I know obviously you're a big advocate for financial independence, financial literacy. So I'm kind of turning this over to you, man, because I think you kind of have a lot to say about this. And pretty much even in our lives tend to be like the expert that all of us kind of go to kind of talk about, like, especially budget and affordability. So what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think this is beyond Trump. Like, this has been an issue for probably decades now. And the American people have been left. Like, it's easy for people to say, oh, you just need to budget. You need to track your expenses and budget, and you need to plan and save. You need to be doing all that. That's your responsibility. Now, I agree. It is our responsibility to be well with our finances, to make sure we budgeting, make sure we don't spend everything to get into credit card debt. But the consumer protections have constantly been eroded over and over and over again. So you have an onslaught of corporate America who is coming in like a sledgehammer, and they literally just gutting you and throwing algorithms at you all day, every day, trying to get you to buy some Bombas socks. Yeah. Shout out to Bombas. I like Bombas. I got me some socks for Christmas. Okay. Yeah. But at the same time, you got like an onslaught of corporations and companies like in boardrooms scheming, plotting, and trying to figure out how to take your money out your pocket. And you have no protections. Your government is not protecting you. Your family, in some cases, they trying to struggle with themselves. The corporation, what happened to corporate responsibility? I mean, it's just not there. So I say all that to say, this has been an issue that's been brewing for the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and the American people just can't handle it. So I do think we need some more consumer protections. And I'm going to say this, if President Trump ever hears this message, which I highly doubt, but let's just say if somebody give him this clip, we need to have a office of personal finance. Just like you got the Secretary of State, you got this cabinet member for that. We need to have an office for personal finance. We need to make sure people are able to get out of debt, have savings for emergencies, and also have retirement security where they can retire in their golden age and they don't have to be Walmart greeters. So that's something that I really care about. I'm passionate about affordability and real affordability, and that involves us being able to have a comprehensive plan from government, private, and personal to come together to fix this issue.
Yeah, but I also think it goes back into, I agree with everything you said, Ice. Part of that new America concept that we're talking about and how affordability is not a hoax. And to your point, this is a bigger problem that even predates Trump. It's been happening for decades. And I just had to bring up the article about the beef prices, right? Beef prices are surging. American households are forking over more money for their steaks. I'm not gonna lie. You go meat shopping. It's like, dang, it costs that much? Like literally things that would cost 30 are costing 60, 70, $80. So it's really getting out of hand. And I know one of the things that's happening. So we're in the Metro Detroit area that all those shows coming up, man. Cars. I know you brought this up, Ice. Americans are paying more than ever for cars. Cheap models are disappearing. They are, man. Like I remember being in high school and college in the early 2000s and mid 2000s. You can get a decent car for $5,000. Now you need $5,000 down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
expensive, ain't it, Matt? Yeah, and you know, I felt this is how the American people feel. That's how our wallet's feeling, man. I mean, hey, bro, that is insane. Like the average car price of a new vehicle in 2026 is $50,000. I'm gonna say that again for the people in the back. The average car price in America today in 2026 for a new vehicle, for a basic vehicle, we ain't talking about no luxury sedan or nothing like that, 50 racks, 50 G's. Now you tell me 50 G's and trying to save for a down payment on a home, credit card debt up the wazoo, and student loans. And on top of that, you're still dealing with, maybe you got to take care of a sick relative. How are you going to afford all that? How do people out here surviving, man? I don't understand, bro.
They're not. And can you do me a favor, man? Pull up the tariffs, because I think you talking about cars and tariffs. It's an interesting point that I want to make that people are really missing. That's really about to happen right now. I think part of the new America that's going to happen with cars, right? Yeah, yep. He forgot all about the $2,000 tariff checks he promised. Yep, he did. But since we're talking about tariffs, this is what happened. We put all the tariffs on all those countries. Just a few days ago, China is started to work out a deal with Canada to start selling their vehicles in Canada. Now, in case you didn't know, Canada was a huge market for American cars. Huge market. The Scat Pack, Hellcats, I think in Brampton, Ontario, I think they were made. They built those cars out there, but they also bought those cars. So we live close to the border of Canada. You will see a lot of American cars. China's about to flood the Canadian market with Chinese cars. What does that mean? That means the American market is going to start to shrink in Canada. And what does that mean for you? Your price is going up, and your savings is going down.
Up and down, huh?
Yeah, that's what that means. That's a new America, man. You're gonna be paying more money for less services. You know what
More
I'm saying?
money for less services.
More money for less services. But that's happening right now as we speak. And those consequences are gonna last way past Trump. So pay attention. You're gonna start seeing a lot of Chinese cars in Canada. And those American companies gonna say, dang, we lost a huge market. We gotta jack these prices up.
Oh, that's a really good point. I didn't even think about that. And you're absolutely right. I mean, it's so bad because Canada and China just actually struck a deal today, I think for $1 trillion, some type of deal that they got going on. And pretty much they're cutting out the United States and they're going behind our backs. And, well, not even going behind our backs, because Trump literally blew up the deal. Him and his administration, we've been antagonizing China, antagonizing our ally, which is Canada, well, used to be ally. And as you can see, the new world order is being formed right before our very own eyes. We're seeing a whole global alliance, a realignment of the global stage, on the global stage, and the United States is being like walked around in different ways. So yeah, prices are going to go up, and this has devastating effects for decades and generations to come. Us millennials and Gen Z, oh man, we got it bad. It's coming for us. So you're right about that, Matt.
And the last thing I wanted to bring up, and I think, Irie, man, I want you to get cooking on this one, man, whatever supporting documents, because I know you really talk about this. Elections have consequences. And that's always been the case. But in the new America, elections are going to have super consequences. It's going to be so much more extreme because over time, people don't talk about this. Scaramucci talked
Think
about.
we're gonna have a midterm? No. Okay.
Yeah, Scaramucci talked about this in one of his videos. Shout out to the Mooch. He talked about this, and he said that over time, over the years, even after Vietnam, we've given more power to the executive branch. So the president has more powers than ever before. So that means a president can come in and just F some stuff up a lot faster, a lot quicker than ever before. And obviously, don't forget the Supreme Court pretty much said the president cannot be found guilty of any crimes while president. Essentially, that's what it says. So this is going to open up all these different all these different bags, all these different issues, because elections have consequences. Let's talk about some of the consequences we're seeing and how this is going to foreshadow a lot of the things that happen in America moving forward. So like, I would just start too. One of the things that we're seeing, are we, like you brought that up, Ice, we saw this at the King protest too, right? People are asking, are we going to even have a midterm this year? Let's run that.
Mike doesn't, but I think so.
Why do you think we won't have a midterm?
I think we will have a midterm.
Okay.
Yeah?
I think
if enough people come out, then maybe.
I think we can win this because he's not only hurting us, he's hurting everyone. So
Yeah, people feel like we won't have one, right? I mean, some people feel like we do, some people won't. I know you also had canceling elections, right? Read this out loud, Ice. What are they saying in this one?
Yeah, so this article by Forbes, it says Trump suggests U.S. shouldn't even have November elections. President Donald Trump said he thinks the U.S. shouldn't even have midterms in November, according to an interview with Reuters published Thursday. Now, again, this is a whole type of pathology. Here's the MAGA pathology. And before I even say that, this is the MAGA song.
Hey, one more time, bro. One more time.
But that's the MAGA song. That's our MAGA song. But it's a whole pathology with MAGA. In 2026, they said, you're overreacting. Come on, Trump is not that bad. I even heard this in 2024. Every year that Trump has been in office or running for presidency, everybody said, "Oh, he's just joking. Don't take him serious." The president, man, he likes to keep it loose. He one of us. And every year it got worse and worse and worse. And this is how you lead to the road to fascism. So, according to this is how it acts. You react. You're overreacting. That's what they tell you. And then you're on the road to fascism is filled with people telling you that you're overreacting. So it's always like, hey, just relax. Everything's okay. But why would he say that in the first place, man? Why do you think he said, like, Trump don't just float stuff out there? I think he floats it out there, see how people react to it, and then he move.
I mean, let's be honest. And I think people don't really want to talk about this. I think we talked about this before. They flooded Minneapolis with 3,000 ICE agents. I think they said they had maybe 600 police officers there. Guys, that's a test. This is a practice round.
Mm-hmm.
This is a practice round. So obviously it didn't work with the reserve. It didn't work with that. The National Guards, it didn't work with that. He couldn't probably get the army to do it. So they created their own militia. They weaponized ICE. And then obviously they had full control over that because it falls under the Department of Homeland Security. So this is a test to see what can we get away with. Like they said some of the officials there, if you really cared about getting rid or addressing immigration, how come you're not in Texas or Florida where we really have real border issues? Why are you up here? So they're already testing that out, man. I think honestly they're doing it, obviously, ICE, because like you said, to your point, they're trying to just test it, desensitize people to the issue. And then no matter what happens, even if they try to end the elections, they're going to find a way to do what, bro?
Blame Biden.
Right? They're going to try to blame Biden. And the problem is people can act ignorant. Like, oh my God, people warned us about this. Even remember when Obama said every day with Trump is like Halloween? Let's run that clip, man.
Today is Halloween. Except it's all tricks and no treats.
Obama. President Obama.
Yeah, bro.
Every day is Halloween when you
Every day.
with Trump. And yeah, I mean, this is the most hated, loved man in American history, apparently, because a lot of people like President Obama because he's smart, he's articulate, he has restraint, very strategic. You know, he rose himself up the ranks. People can respect that. That's the American dream. We should like somebody like that to feel like, okay, this guy came out of nowhere. And if he could do it, then that gives me some type of hope. And then you have, on the other hand, you have Trump, the total opposite, entitled, grew up as a rich, you know, from his family. His dad got $100 million, you know, kind of cheated his way to the top.
Yeah.
And people like that. They like the villain. That's where I feel like we at right now, where people, it's like people want the villain to win, even if the villain is destroying them. You know, it's crazy times,
President Obama.
And I think President Obama, he's a really gifted speaker, and he has his problems too. He has his faults, and as president, there's some things that I would like him to do more of. But I think at the end of the day, we would love to take a president back like this that has the temperament versus a Donald Trump right now, because every day feels like Halloween.
No, I agree. I agree, bro. And I say this too. I don't think that every president after this is going to be like Donald Trump. I don't think that. But I think the days of Obama and those previous presidents that kind of were presidential and had boundaries. I mean, Kanye went on TV and says George W. Bush don't like black people. George W. Bush didn't even, people didn't like him, but there was no retaliation. Man, let me take my black behind on TV and say that about Donald Trump, bro. Like, it's not going to go well. It's this, you know, this is not going to go well, bro, because the current status of the office is, you say something about this, we own your head. And I don't think that's going to change. It may not be as severe as we see now, but it's setting a new precedent, and that's all part of the new America.
The lie detector test determined you are telling the truth.
Yeah, it's all part of that new America. And I think the key is this stuff is not going anywhere. It's not.
Nope.
It's not going, and it didn't even start with Trump. Trump just took that energy, man. Anything else you want to say, Ice?
Well, I'd be surprised. Like, who, you know, we didn't talk about ICE yet, and that's something I wanted to touch on, because, you know, obviously ICE has been brutalizing people, and to your point, you know, ICE is Trump's concierge service. Like he just say, I could just tap into these people and say, oh, let me call them on speed dial. Go to Minneapolis or go to this place. We know it's not about like immigration, and that's part of it, because Trump is really good at this, and Republicans, they're really good at like pointing out the grain of truth, and then they exacerbate it, make it a big deal. Like they'll say, oh, you know, grocery prices are out of control. And you'd be like, oh yeah, grocery prices are out of control. Then they say, we need to shut all the grocery stores down and have one grocery store. You're like, well, no, that's not what we asked for, okay? We did not ask for that, okay? And that's what the Trump administration is. We all say, hey, we want immigration. Yeah, we want our borders to be safe. I mean, I can go for that. We want protections. But what we don't want is Trump's, you know, Gestapo force just going out here brutalizing people and just snatching people out their homes, going door to door, checking your papers. I mean, I've seen so much on Instagram, Matt and listener. I've seen so many like ICE just messing with people, bro. And it's almost like, man, what is y'all point here? And that goes to my point. I think a lot of these people are Proud Boys people. And I think we got a clip about that. Play the clip.
Agents now. I wonder how many people that were in prison for January 6th are ICE agents now. I wouldn't surprise me at all if some of them are.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Matt?
Well, I mean, remember a few months ago, a lot of federal workers had to submit documentation almost saying like how they were pledging allegiance or positive things about the Trump administration. So these were federal workers. So it's not far-fetched that if you're hiring for ICE, that it's starting off as a loyalty test, right? You like Trump? Thumbs up. Just like you say something bad about Trump, what up, bro? Thumbs down. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, So bro, I wouldn't even be surprised at all. And there's footage of people, guys with Nazi tattoos and getting ran up on with videos, and it's like, dude, don't look he don't even look like any type of officer at all. He just looked like, he looked kind of like to your point, somebody that probably was just loyal to Trump or the Trump agenda.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that brings us to a point. Also, I wanted to mention. Matt, I think I lost you here.
Guess who's Bizak? The ball team is that.
Glad you're back, bro. Yeah, and I think this
ICE agent tried to stop me, bro. They tried to disrupt the internet, bro. Hey, the ICE
digital ICE,
digital, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, bro, they took some IT classes, bro. Watch out, bro.
Yeah. And to your point, Matt, I so agree, because this all doesn't happen without support and help. We've seen this growing up. Maybe you had an uncle that was like, you kind of knew something was off about your uncle, and you like, okay, they don't bring your family members around this uncle, or you just kind of knew like, okay, and everybody would just cover that situation up with Uncle Charles, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
everybody just knew. But you need a whole cover up to cover up something as big as this here. You need a media system to cover this up. You need billionaires to cover this up, corporations to cover it up. You need a lot of people who have interest in keeping like a puppet president like Donald Trump, where they can let him just be a bull in a china shop and they can go in the back door and just rob you blind. And then you got sycophants. And Trump is a once in a lifetime type president, because he's the type of president that like get fanboys. Like Obama and I think all presidents have fanboys to some degree, but I think Trump has gotten like this cult-like fanboyish, where this dude can literally do anything. He literally can be in the Epstein files.
The Epstein Island.
Right? And literally people would just like go to bat for him and say, you know what? No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. Like I literally had people tell me, Matt, that Trump is a truth teller. He's a truth teller. He never lied. This guy's perfect. Like y'all just hating on him, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I just want to get to this quick article here. It says, please don't just blame Trump for where we are now. Name all those who have lied for him. Plenty of people.
Yep.
Upheld him. Plenty of people. Covered for him. Put false religion around him and enabled him. If we end up in a war, there must not be selective amnesia. Anyone who didn't speak up bears the blame.
And I'll say this too. I think a lot of times when it comes to Trump, a lot of people support Trump, right? Even some of his worst things, even if they don't, they come out and at least say it, right? He can mess up the economy. He can put tariffs on tariffs on tariffs, right? But if you go to the bathroom and your toilet don't flush, what you gonna do?
Blame Biden.
You're gonna blame Biden, bro. You ran out of toothpaste.
Blame Biden.
You know what I'm saying?
Blame Biden.
You ain't got no more dog food.
Blame Biden.
So all these different things, bro. So you're right. It's a lot of people who support him. And this is also key too, bro. There are a lot of people. I've never seen people resent a president this much. I mean, we thought that Bush got it bad. You got it bad. Right?
Not you got it bad, bro.
You got it bad, bro. And I would say this too. Tell me if you feel this way, bro. Trump is more unpopular now than he was over the summer.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
And don't forget how bad those King protests were. Let's run a clip, man. We were just here in the Metro Detroit area. Let's run a clip.
See, this is not a good look for Republicans right now. This is not even an election cycle. And you have thousands of people out here in Metro Detroit protesting. And I see all kinds of signs. I'm seeing really, really, really creative signs. And this is a sign that 2026 is going to be an interesting year.
Yeah, that was fun. You know what? Actually, bro, that was so much fun. Like, I felt the love out there. I felt like people really coming to bat. They said, you know what? Nah, hold my beer. We are not about to sit here and let our democracy just die like that. So it was good to just see people come together from all different colors, different race, different genders, ethnicities, religion, sexual orientation, everybody. It was just a real slice of America and what America looks like. And just seeing everybody come out in a peaceful protest. It wasn't nothing crazy, no agitators. And it was just kind of cool to shoot that and be there and cover that, Matt.
It was. And I think, we're talking about elections have consequences. If you really pay attention, a lot of this conversation about canceling elections didn't really happen prior to the King's protests. There might have been rumblings around, people were saying it, right? But after that protest, because I think that King's protest happened at the same time. I forgot what he had. They had some type of event, didn't they?
Yeah, that was the military parade stuff that he was doing.
Yeah, the military.
We covered that too.
Yep. So, and I think after that, I think it was such a display. It was the biggest day. It was the biggest one-day protest in American history, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 10 million people.
They saw that. They tried to claim that the sizes of the groups were false and it was all lies, right? But what shortly happens after that? Conversations about canceling elections. ICE got way more intense. So a lot of that stuff started to way more backlash, get more boots on the ground, be more aggressive in their messaging, and they started to squash any kind of dissent a lot harder and a lot faster because it was bubbling at the surface, bro. And they're doing whatever they can to squash it.
Man, bro, you dropping gems, bro. I gotta give it to you, Matt.
Oh, yeah, man. Real thing, man.
Man, you dropping the gems. I couldn't have said even more better, bro.
No. So I mean, we really gonna keep talking about this new America, man. Because I think a lot of this stuff that you're saying, this is not leaving with Trump. And Trump is not the creator of this. He just utilized it. He won't be the last person to try to utilize this dissent to try to get power. It's just too much opportunity, man. It's too much opportunity. Any last words you want to say, Ice, about the new America?
Well, yeah, I would say in this new America, some things that you can do to protect yourself. One is find community. If you don't have community, you need to start building your tribe, okay? You need either online or offline or preferably both, where you got some people that's going to rock with you, that they can cover you while you cover them. Maybe y'all exchange babysitting times where that save you a couple dollars on babysitting or whatever it is that you need to barter between services. Find something, a community of people that rock with you and that you can trust, like, and know, and then y'all can do barter services together. Also, pay down your debt. Pay down your credit cards as much as you possibly can. Pay them off, ideally. Get rid of your debt as fast as you possibly can. Save as much money as you can. And please, for God's sake, put some money aside for retirement. Please. Some of y'all, the average American, 2/3 of American has less. 2/3 of American. Let me slow down. 2/3, that's 60% of Americans, over 60% of Americans have less than $10,000 in their retirement account. So I'm going to need y'all to go up at least 1 or 2%. Okay. I understand things are expensive right now, but you need to be saving money because you are not going to be able to survive and the government is not going to take care of you. So you need to be putting aside some money. Set aside some money. I don't care what it is. $100 a month, $200 a month. Set aside some money. You'll be okay. And I would also say, follow, share, and subscribe to channels like ours because we always going to here give you guys the game, supporting you guys, and we're building our own community here. Yeah. So if you feel like you don't have a community, you don't have a place out here, that's what we're here for. We're building our own community here of like-minded people. So we're not only that we, keep you up on game in terms of policy, but also you have a place for some type of cover and protection because we're going to be talking more about financial stuff as well.
No, and I was add this one more thing to that, Ice, is once you find that community, you find the right people, just run up the score, man. Go live your life. Go live your life. Don't look back, man. Don't look back. The reason I say that is because if you really pay attention to history, when it comes to doing what is right overall and the truth, that always kind of wins out in the long run. Look at it like this. Back in 2016, man, you saw somebody with a MAGA hat. People like, oh my God, like don't look at them in the eyes. Like Debo coming down the street. Now, MAGA is the butt of so many jokes now on SNL. I mean, these people are laughing stocks, especially the stronger supporters. They just make fun of them all the time. People even, so everything changes. So just know that, hey, I'm doing the right things. I care about the right issues. Don't get caught up in the culture wars. Don't get caught up in criticisms and BSs or negative comments. Find a few different comebacks and understand that the best way is to live your life and run up the score around people that you know, like, and what else, bro?
Trust.
Yep. And remember, if you're looking for a place to get your information, man, you got a friend in me.
What's up?
Yeah. So make sure you share, like, subscribe, like I said, and take care, everybody.